This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to thank and acknowledge our executive producers, Brandy and Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Albert Lorenzo, LightBlindedFool, Green Man, Deyvis Ferreira, Kristen, Jordan, and Margaret. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Doug Ingram to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and your support. We also want to acknowledge Michelle Forbes, who increased her pledge at patreon.com/wheelweavespodcast to become our newest producer-level patron. So Michelle joins the ranks of Passion Socks, Cody Feltz, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jonathan Reese, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Hannah Green, and Marta Thier. Thank you so much for your continued support. We really, truly couldn't do this without all of our patron support, so we really, really appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about Chapter 15 of Crossroads of Twilight.
Yeah, Chapter 15 is Gathering Darkness. Ooh. And we get to see some of the same from a different angle of what's going on.
It's way more interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's positive.
You know what? I'm here for it. Literally any speck of anything. I'm like, anything else?
Yeah.
You know, we're switching gears. We're out of Elaine's head.
Yep.
That's good news.
And you do know we know pretty much all these people in this chapter, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Like, they're not all new people.
No, I do understand that.
Okay, good.
I do get that.
Yeah, because when you're like, oh, it's very exciting, maybe you're thinking these are all new characters.
No. I was ready for a change.
Yeah, I mean,
scenery,
we got
here we are.
some dark friendery business going on, too.
That part's kind of gross and interesting.
I assume that's the darkness part of the gathering.
Well, I'm pretty sure that it's just about to be nighttime in both these perspectives.
Oh, or that? That's a much more literal... I was thinking, like, metaphorical darkness. Not like, oh, it's almost nighttime.
Oh, yeah.
That's good, too, though.
I'm pretty sure at some point when David Hanlon's walking, it's like, darkness is gathering, because it's night.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, anyways, we'll talk about when we get there.
Mm-hmm. And there has been a murder.
Yeah.
Several.
Yeah, there's a few, actually.
Several murders this chapter. Which, I mean, how can you be mad at a chapter where several people were murdered?
Yeah, that's the metaphorical darkness.
Especially people you don't know, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could be mad. I just thought of several ways I could be mad at a chapter that has murders in it.
Oh, yeah, there's just like a couple.
I just thought of that. But in this... you have something to tell us?
I do. Okay. Well, it's going to go not that great because I figured since in this chapter we're focusing on the enemy camp, I would see if I can dig up any dirt on Arimilla Marn.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was her last name. Okay.
Yeah, it's referenced many times in the last couple episodes. That's okay. So Arimilla.
Not her last name.
It is. It really is.
Not really.
We had a whole conversation with the fact that they referenced the 3 last names.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me which was which.
Fair. That's on me.
And I didn't write it in my notebook because I didn't care enough.
Anyways, well, here's the thing about the search. It went pretty medium, so you're going to suffer through listening what I had to learn about. But I did find something that made me go, oh, okay.
Okay.
It wasn't like that groundbreaking, but okay, here we go. For the first name, Arimilla. Couldn't find any historical references for the first name. Really difficult. I don't think anybody in history has ever had the name Arimilla. Couldn't find a single person. But the closest thing I did find was the flower called the amaryllis, which is very close in spelling, but a little bit different.
Yeah, that's completely different.
But it gets better, though. So, in the Victorian language of flowers, amaryllis means love, beauty, and determination. Maybe. No? Okay.
Definitely not.
And it can represent hope and achievement.
Definitely not.
Okay.
Go on.
Notably, the name comes from the Greek word meaning to sparkle.
Definitely no.
Okay.
Go on.
Remember that sparkle business, okay? That's what the first name means. Now, the last name is Marne. Now, the Marne is a river in France, and actually found out that the Marne is incredibly famous as a site of 2 battles during World War I, and the first battle there was a turning point to the war, and it was fought in 1914, and it was one of the bloodier battles during the war, but the victory here by the French and the British was a key event that prevented Germany from taking a quick victory in the West, which was the main part of Germany's deployment plan. So it was a very important battle with the Marne. So, maybe a little bit, but get this, the name Marn has Latin origins that means from the sea or sparkling. So the first name and the last name mean sparkle.
What a wonderfully wild coincidence you just found.
Super sort of medium, because like the first
Definitely,
name is a little
not.
different. That's what I learned.
It was basically nothing. You found out some things, but
Yeah. Sometimes that's how it goes, and I just need to let everyone else know about it.
Okay, well, the last time we were here, Elaine was dealing with a whole lot of Camelin stuff, and we had to also learn about that.
Yeah, the campaign trail.
Yeah, some of that.
Yeah.
And other stuff, too. Bargaining and whatnot.
Rebargaining.
Anyway, rebargaining, and that was it. So.
Good summary.
Good.
Okay.
So, chapter 15, Gathering Darkness, and the chapter symbol is a dragon's fang, most likely because of the darkness.
Dark friends.
Dark friends. Although that's not the dark friend symbol.
It kind of is.
That's a weird symbol for me.
Well, it's been that way for a while because we've got the Forsaken, which is like Forsaken. And we have the Two-Face for the Black Aja.
But that one I thought was also just dark friends sometimes.
But it's also more common with the Black Aja because
I don't
it's like
even know.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just kind of spooky. Like when you draw a dragon fang on someone's door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, we are going to enter in a new perspective. It is Elenia. Is that how we're pronouncing that?
Yeah, Elenia Sarand. So we have Arimilla Marn, Elenia Sarand, and Nayan Aran.
Okay.
Or however you want to pronounce those.
Whatever, man.
Yeah, it's all good.
So, Elenia is riding through Arimilla's camp. Mm-hmm. And we have just come back from hearing Elaine wondering where Elenia and Nayan are going to be sleeping. Mm-hmm. There's some intel. There's like a spy or something like that.
Yeah.
So, I was like, ooh, are we going to get something in? Not really, no. The answer's no. But now here we are checking out this camp and seeing what they know and what they're doing.
Well, it's good to kind of be in their perspective. I do appreciate it since we knew that they were, like, in quotations, rescued by Arimilla because they were captive by Elaine.
Oh, yeah. These two have just been in just terrible situations.
Yeah, it's not... Elenia, and we'll talk about it when we get there, but she is still, like, really confident about her situation.
I think that she is just about as confident as she would need to be.
Okay.
So as not to lose hope.
Yeah, I see a lot of similar vibes with her and Fail.
Fail, I was going to say, too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now it's evening, and she's probably going to be staying the night in this camp, even though she doesn't know which tent she'll be staying in yet. Apparently, Arimilla does a whole bunch of things to try to keep her off balance, which includes not telling her until the last minute where she's going to be sleeping.
Yeah, super good, but it doesn't bother her. She's fine.
Yeah. So she's looking around, and she thinks that this entire siege on Camelin in the middle of winter is a huge mistake, because Arimilla's forces are definitely going to go hungry long before the city does.
Yeah.
And that's interesting, because, and she, we get later, doesn't even believe that the gateways are real and happening.
Yeah.
And so she thinks this, even though she doesn't know about that.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, because being inside the city does have some advantages. We got the whole perspective from Elaine about the merchants and how they're like not really dealing with Arimilla's camp from what Elaine thinks. There's a lot of like undercurrent stuff that we got in the last couple of chapters that's hinting at that too.
Right.
So.
But all of this just really gives Elenia an opportunity for some scheming.
Yeah.
She's a little bit of a schemer.
Yeah, she is. And I mean, we'll see how it goes.
So we get this whole scene where Elenia is riding around and keeping her hood back and nodding at all the gross poor people and dirty soldiers.
Yeah.
Because they'll remember her being friendly when it's like her time to take power.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, okay.
Okay, let's slow down here.
You're in a really terrible position, and
she
think that you're going to be in contest for the throne.
Not just in contest. She thinks she's going to win it.
Have it.
And she has to make sure all the regular people like her, because I think the analogy was the queen stands atop a tower built of people. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But you still need to make sure the bottom people are still, strong and they like you.
They are happy. They want to be there.
Yes, the shaking hands and kissing babies situation.
Right, which Arimilla is not doing.
No. No, she's not.
She's not even talking to anybody.
Yeah. I think the background theme of this chapter, too, is how much Elenia thinks Arimilla is...
Arimilla.
And she's stupid. She's an
she's
idiot.
A nitwit.
Yeah.
A doorknob.
Every word you can use for stupid is how Elenia describes her.
Yeah. Yep. That's true.
But she's going to be queen. Super soon.
Elenia is.
Elenia is,
well,
yeah.
maybe. Mm-hmm, yeah. However, she is still a captive in this camp. She is allowed to roam around inside of it, but she's not allowed to leave. Mm-hmm. And she's been forced to sleep in soldiers' dirty tents.
Yeah.
When she pisses off Arimilla. So there is this aspect of punishment if she doesn't do the right thing.
Yeah.
So.
There is. And again, it's like, how filthy is the soldier's tent? It's like filthy by your standards. Or was it actually...
Is it just a regular...
Yeah. It does seem like there's some bad stuff going on. Like Arimilla is punishing them pretty terribly.
There's barely any furniture in there.
Probably none even.
Probably not even a washstand.
Terrible. What do you do?
Wasn't even gilded.
Chamber pot.
Mirror was broken.
Something like that.
Gosh, disgusting.
Okay.
Anyway, so Elenia gets super annoyed thinking about that young chit Elaine, only a few miles away in the royal palace, all comfy, surrounded by well-trained servants, not even having a care in the world.
Yeah, I had to look up a lot of words this chapter.
Oh, yeah.
I did. Because I've seen chit before. I never knew what it really... Like, I know it's an insult.
Oh, chit.
Yeah, chit.
Yeah.
So it's a young woman regarded with disapproval for her immaturity or lack of respect.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of words that I had to... Yeah. Okay.
I would have thought of it was more like just like broad. Like just another word for...
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Chick. That's what that young chick.
Sure.
I don't know. But I think that chit, that's a worse meaning.
A little bit, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I don't know how she can think that Elaine is just feeling comfortable with not a care in the world when Arimilla's here sieging Camelin, and she's also vying for the throne.
It's a little bit explained because Elenia thinks that Dylan is actually the brains behind everything, and Elaine's just like a, stand-in almost. Yeah, like Dylan's using Elaine. So Elaine is in a like a puppet, right? Mm-hmm. So she doesn't have a care in the world because she doesn't have to do anything.
I see.
Yeah, there's like a little bit of that.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Well, she also has heard that Elaine is pregnant, possibly from some guardsman, which is totally possible because she doesn't have any more decency than her mother. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
Yeah. And, Morgan is left on really bad terms with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So.
I know. I was actually going to ask you last time, and I forgot.
Yeah.
But now that we're learning all of these houses, and I'm supposed to know who they are. Yeah. At some point here, do you have, like, a list of
like
people...
Like a recap of who she pissed off?
Who Morgae's really pissed off? Because at one point in here, Elenia thinks about somebody who was flogged. Mm-hmm. Because of Morgae's, and so...
Yeah, I've highlighted a lot of them as we go.
I know, but right now I'm wondering what matters for me to know.
I'll let you know. If it really matters, I'll let you know. I have let you know as we've gone through this.
Yeah, but I haven't really thought about that. Okay. I didn't know that it was going to actually matter this much.
Okay, so like, do you want a master list of all the Andorran houses and where we stand?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Can you just write them out?
I can, yeah. Like, I can do that. That's the thing I can do.
I just need, a visual to refer to when you're talking, and I'm like, I don't know.
It's not going to happen right now on this episode.
I'm aware.
Okay.
No, that's okay.
I have, a little bulletin board and a laser pointer.
Oh, yeah,
Show you the house breakdowns.
No, thanks.
Color-coded.
I mean, color-coded would be nice.
Who stands for who? Who's, undecided.
Okay, less about that.
Okay.
And more about...
Who got whipped.
who got ousted,
Yeah, okay. So there is a little comment then, just as a side thought here. Elenia was thinking about some of the lesser houses because there's, 400-ish. But there was a bunch of them who got burned back when Morgase took the throne. So now a lot of the lesser houses are going to be quicker to jump ship to whoever they think is going to, actually take the throne when it happens instead of waiting because that didn't go so well with Morgase apparently. Way, way, way back too during that succession.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, right now let's just go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is where Elenia figures that Dylan is probably doing a lot of the thinking around here, and she thinks that Dylan doesn't have enough of her own ambition because Dylan should have also been fighting for this, in her opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just like making decisions for other people's situations. Dallin doesn't want to.
Right. Now, Elenia thinks about how there must be at least one real Aes Sedai among all of the rumors that she's heard coming out of the palace.
And there's a lot, and it's hard to tell what's what, because we got the kinswomen, we got the sea folk, we got the Aes Sedai.
We know that. Yeah.
So I understand why it is confusing, but she also has like a bunch of thoughts that are not so accurate.
Yeah,
because
sure. Like the gateways thing.
Yeah, the gateways thing. But one of the funnier ones is she thinks that the next Queen of Andor is going to be able to demand whatever she wants from the White Tower, because the White Tower is going to want to keep that Andoran connection. It's like, the White Tower isn't going to let you demand anything.
No.
I don't care what position you're in. That's never going to happen. So
even if there is a White Tower, because currently the White Tower is also
we'll
under
see.
siege.
Yeah.
So
we're not going to talk about that.
Right. Yeah, they're not helping anybody right now.
Yeah.
So Elenia is making her rounds through the camp, and another small party rides up ahead of her, and it's Nayan.
Yeah,
who's
the other
captive who you'd assume that they're kind of close because they're in this shitty situation together, but nope. Hates her. I think she just hates everybody.
That's actually, that's accurate.
Hates everybody up in here.
Yeah.
She really doesn't want to have a conversation with Nayan. It's not exactly forbidden to talk to her, but there's no real reason for them to talk, and it'll probably piss Arimeli off, so...
Yeah, there's nothing she can gain from a conversation, really.
Right. I think I just called her Arimeli. I don't actually know
Arimeli?
Her name is.
It's cool.
What
I like that better. Arimella?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. Okay, but I do know that stupid Nayan sees Elenia and starts riding towards her, so she's gonna have to have a conversation with her.
Also too fast through the camp. You shouldn't
really
ride your horse.
obvious,
Yeah, so very obvious about what's going on here.
And really, all Nayan asks if Elenia knows where they're sleeping tonight.
Well, that's how she opens.
Yeah.
That's the opening question.
Yeah, and Elenia's like, no. And so she turns to leave, and then Nayan's like, okay, well, I know you're just as eager to escape, so we have to pretend to be civil.
Yeah, we can work together.
Shut it. Don't say those things out loud.
Yeah, but also, maybe they could work together, but also they hate each other, so they don't want to work together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So this does catch Elenia's attention, and she looks around to make sure that no one's listening, but oh, good.
Yeah, maybe.
That worked.
Yeah, works every time.
And then this is where Nayan tells Elenia that she saw her husband yesterday. Elenia's husband, Jared.
Jared, yes.
Who Elenia hasn't been allowed to see or talk to.
Yeah, so just as a reminder, so Elaine had the same thought about Elenia and her husband Jared.
Really?
She did. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so back in Winter's Heart.
Well, I bet I did.
Okay. See, I thought you were serious for a second.
No, I did not. I didn't know that.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So Elaine thought in Winter's Heart about how Jared, he's kind of a hothead, and he's probably going to do whatever he can to break Elenia out. So one of the signs we were looking for is if Jared gets wind that, Nayan had captured Elenia, then Jared's going to burn the friggin' countryside to get her back. So Jared is in that situation, which is what Arimel is taking care of by basically blackmailing Elenia to write a letter to her husband to say, chill out, I'm happy here.
Right.
So
and tell everybody what the gross blackmail is.
No. I don't want to.
I know.
And it gets worse.
It's just,
Yeah. So basically Jared agreed to not
great.
do anything. He signed his name and said he's not going to do anything to try to break her
so that
out.
you're not going to be abused by some old man with dementia.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know. Jared doesn't know about that.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
But that's how she wrote a thing telling him to calm down because Arimilla was like, you're going to have to spend time with this old, super horny dementia man.
Yep. That's the guy.
And I don't even understand why this is even a plot point that's happening.
Okay.
Just to literally make me uncomfortable and trigger people.
That's what happens sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
You're in the Crossroads of Twilight here. Gathering darkness, not gathering sunshine.
I wish. Rainbows?
No, none of that.
Pocket full of sunshine?
Yeah, I could go with that.
Okay. Not. Okay, well, we have okay, hold on. We got some stuff to talk about before we get to the other stuff we gotta talk about.
Yeah.
So basically, Nayan wants to know if Elenia is trying to escape, and Elenia's like, no, but even if I were, why would I take you with me? And there's this whole back and forth, and then Nan starts pleading with Elenia.
It's like, oh, I'm telling you, but, take me with you
and
anyways,
then she
please.
even pledges to support her as long as she can get free of Arimilla, because...
Also terrible.
Also
They're
bad.
in the same terrible situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then Elenia gets super paranoid that someone might be listening, so she whispers to Nan and is like, okay, fine, I won't leave without you, but you have to write a letter, sign it, and seal it that you revoke your support of Arimilla and support me for the throne.
Because having it in writing is better than just spoken words, because, you have some physical evidence here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, Nan finally tells Elenia that she will write the letter as soon as she can, but then after this conversation is over, Elenia rides off feeling pretty good about her situation.
Yeah.
And...
That's what happens.
That's it. That's the whole thing. And then now it's time for Elenia to go find Arimilla to find out where she's sleeping tonight. So off she goes. She does a lot of thinking about her situation and her chances of taking the Lion Throne.
Yeah.
And then her happy thoughts are broken up by Dementia Man.
Yeah. There was another word that I had to look up here,
Ooh.
and I think it's because Elenia thinks of Elaine again, while she's like visualizing, and thinks of her as a hoyden.
Ooh.
Yeah. I was like,
What is that?
A boisterous girl.
Oh.
It's same
I would
thing.
never want one of those around.
A hoyden.
A hoyden.
Yeah.
You say. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a new one.
Well, anyways, Nassin, not Nayan, Nassin, is coming up beside her, and we get a description of who he is. He's this, like, old man, but he's, like, a high seat of some house or something, right?
Yeah, we've seen him before.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so, Nassin of House Karen, he's a guy. He's one of the crony nobles who was hanging out with Lord Gabriel / Ravine way back in Fires of Heaven. And then he was sucking up to Rand pretty hard for Rand's super fantastic fighting abilities in Lord of Chaos. And then in Winter's Heart, we learned that House Karen, so this guy's house, was the first to align with Arimilla. And then here, we find out that this house is the single most powerful individual house in Andor.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so they're not nobody, but also this dude is literally insane, Dementia Man.
Yes.
Like...
Yeah, his brain is broken.
It's not great.
He's not doing well. He's quite sick mentally. And... like, that's not good.
Yeah.
And then his next heir is his young granddaughter, who Arimilla is, like, keeping under her cloak.
Yeah. It's really bad. It's really bad. But anyways, we know this guy, we know the house, and there is some importance to, I guess, who he is or who the house is.
Has he declined since we saw him, or was he kind of this bad then?
I would say he's declined. Like, from what we saw, he was just a suck-up. But now we get to... We've never seen him this close before.
Well, and we haven't seen, this side maybe.
Yeah, we haven't seen this, so...
Okay, well, he calls out, he's like, Elenia, my darling treasure, and he, like, thinks that they're about to be married or something.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not your betrothed, I have a husband.
Yeah.
And then there's a pretty intense standoff where... her guards and
she's got like 4 guards of her own, and he has like 40.
Yeah.
So it's also not good because
so she has to like calm everybody down, and she's like, it's okay. And then because Nason is pretty old and off his rocker, he's like, oh, that guy, he should stop bothering you. The better man won. I'll challenge him.
Like, challenge Jared. So he's telling, Elenia that Jared should leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's also hypotheticals we could talk about here, too, just with the whole he was close with Ravine. That Ravine was doing a whole lot of crazy compulsion on a lot of people way back then. So maybe there's a sprinkling of that, too, that doesn't help.
Oh, interesting.
It's like, there's no evidence for that. Like, that's pretty hard, but you could hypothetically
make
say
that connection potentially.
Like, maybe that's declined things further.
Right. And so now she's going to take a different approach here, and so she just sort of plays into it and is like, oh no, don't fight over me. Let the man live. And he's like, oh, I didn't know you were so sensitive. Fine, but as long as he doesn't bother you. And it's this whole thing.
Yeah, it goes on for a long time.
Yeah, and then he's about to also just, like, punch Elenia's maid in the face for no reason.
Yeah, he, like, brings his hand back.
It's, like, a whole thing.
Weird.
And Arimilla rides up and calls out to him just in time to distract him.
Yeah.
And now that Arimilla's here with her giant entourage, Elenia sees that Nan is with her.
Yes, because Nan rode off. She's gathered herself from her, fretful state or whatever you want to call it.
Right, and now she's with Arimilla.
Yeah.
Now, crazy old Nason is distracted too and confused, and then he sees his granddaughter, whose name is Sylvace.
Sylvace, yeah. There's also like a little hint at a thing here too. So Elenia is specifically noting that Nan is staying away from a man in the group around Arimilla, and that man is named Jack.
Nan is staying away from him?
Yes.
Okay.
Nan is staying away from him. Now, we don't know him, but we get a description of him now. It's Jack Lunault. But the language that's used here and a little hint later on gives us some really important clues as to who this guy is and what he does. So Nan's keeping away from him. And the quote is, "He hardly looked a man who could reduce someone to begging with just a few chords." So this guy is a torturer. He tortures people. And that's why afterwards Elenia thinks about how once she's in control, she'll set Jack on Arimilla for a few days.
Oh.
So this dude is just like a torturer for hire.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just as like a add in the mix of more gathering darknessy stuff.
Okay.
If you want to.
Sure.
There you go.
All right, and then next we're going to get a whole thing with Arimilla shuttling crazy Nason off to his tent with her maid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the implication there is that she's supposed to distract him, and Elenia is disgusted at this whole thing, and so are we.
Yeah, but again, if you were gonna think that, I like Elenia for any reason, don't, because she's more disgusted at the fact that Arimilla sent her own maid versus just another random maid.
Right.
It's like, why would you treat your own maid that way? Just treat a random one that way.
Right.
It's all bad. They're all bad people, and bad things are happening to most of the bad people. But, maybe not the maid, so, she's not necessarily bad.
No.
Just because she works for bad people.
No, and are these people actually bad people?
Like Elenia, Arimilla,
But are they bad people?
Well, they have terrible thoughts about people.
Well, and I guess putting people to torture and all these things.
Yeah, I could say the higher ups are definitely bad people.
Yeah.
By my definition of bad, I would say yeah.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
All right. So then we learn how Arimilla forced Elenia to write to her husband. This is that whole thing.
It's the explanation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah.
Now, once Nason is gone, there's a back and forth between Elenia and Arimilla about the Nason situation, and Arimilla suggests that Elenia writes to her husband again to let him know how happy she is.
Yeah, because he's like, now we probably see Jared doing some laps and pacing outside the camp because, the hothead.
Yes.
Is he going to try to break her out at any point because he doesn't like the situation? Yeah, he signed over, whatever.
Fealty or whatever.
Yeah,
or
but what's the situation?
Support her, but yeah.
So there's some background stuff of what's happening inside Arimilla's camp right now, considering Elaine is being sieged by them. It doesn't seem like everything is just smooth sailing for Arimilla.
Oh, no. We basically just have to blackmail and torture everybody into supporting us.
Yeah, for how long? Who knows at this point.
Yeah. So now it's time for Arimilla, Elenia, Nan, and Sylvace,
yeah.
the granddaughter
heir,
to go for a little ride. And Elenia thinks of her own plans for Sylvace, which basically just she's going to get her on her side.
Yeah, because once Nason kicks the bucket, hopefully soon, then she's the heir of the most powerful house. So.
But Arimilla here just natters on the whole time, and Elenia doesn't even really listen until Arimilla tells them that Elenia and Nan will be sharing a bed tonight. Mm-hmm. And then Elenia properly gets really paranoid, wondering if Arimilla knows about their plotting.
Are you just giving us free time to plot more, or is this a setup?
Or is it a setup and you're now going to spy on us?
Yeah, or is Nan betraying Elenia somehow? Did she just go rat her out?
Maybe.
There's also that of,
There's lots of things at play.
A lot of angles.
But I bet it's not innocent. I think that Elenia's right to be worried.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
You're not buying it? Because we do get a lot of the whole Arimilla's an idiot and doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So is she actually an idiot who doesn't know what's going on?
Right. And also in this chapter, we learn that it is not Arimilla's camp that is burning up the warehouses. Which honestly would be smart.
That would be a great plan.
They should
sabotage.
They should definitely do that.
You should be trying to do it at least. Yeah.
But if even the bad guys can't do it successfully, what chance do these ones have?
Well, you got the water wagons just, wee-oo-wee-ooing all over the city. I don't know.
All right. Well, whatever. Elenia in the end thinks that Arimilla is a moron, and the perspective ends with Elenia thinking about her plans moving forward, and she thinks to herself the only question was whether Arimilla or Nason should die first. And I said for sure Nason.
Oh, really? Okay.
For sure that guy needs to be dead.
Sure.
And also then Arimilla too.
Yeah, or at the same time.
And so then I was thinking,
yeah.
So if I had one bullet and I had to line them up and
curve the bullet, like in my favorite James McAvoy film.
That's right.
Wanted.
That's right. Both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. It's great. It's great.
Office reference.
Yeah.
But it's good. Same though.
Yeah.
Sure. They can just both be dead. It's fine.
And Toby. Get Toby in that lineup.
Right. Toby also needs to just because now why not 3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and that's the thing. So we kind of end this perspective with Arimilla thinking that not Arimilla, Elenia. Elenia sort of thinks that she has like a legit plan to get out of her situation, but it's never clearly defined.
No.
Like nothing's really explained what Elenia thinks about.
She even sort of thinks that her letter to Jared is going to be a little bit cryptic.
Yeah, but she can't because it has to be written by somebody else, so she can't use like invisible ink or whatever. So
it's just urine.
Yeah, it's a very strong parallel. It's just pee. Yeah, that's exactly it. But the parallel is literally like Fail captured in the camp thinking, oh, I don't want Perrin to do anything, and she doesn't want Jared to do anything because it's going to mess up my plan.
Yeah.
But then you have Fail who doesn't have a really well-defined plan to actually get out.
No.
We have some angles we might be able to work, but what is Elenia really doing here?
I don't know. The whole idea is this needs to just implode.
Yeah. Yeah.
In on itself. Nobody is going to be left with any support.
Get the Aiel in here.
Literally, just
scoop them all
run
up.
them down.
Yeah.
God, I'm still going to be, like, I understand.
Yeah.
I do get people's points.
Yeah.
I know why Elaine wants to only use Andoran forces for the Andoran support, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But...
No.
If the Aiel just happened to run through because...
We need, like, Len here, stealth mission.
Yeah.
You know how he broke out Perrin and Egwene way back when?
From the White Cloak camp?
Yeah, like, let's get a just stealth mission and just, I don't know, kidnap the leaders.
Blow
like...
darts. Well, kidnap them again. I guess that's what
more
we can
kidnappings.
do. This is how we get everyone's support, is we just
kidnap them.
There you go. And blackmail them.
Yeah, easy way to make money.
Oh my gosh.
Kidnap people, offer them back for money.
Yeah. This is like a cult.
Right.
You make more money as a leader, but you have more fun as a follower.
Right, exactly.
Goodness.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the end of this, right? We're done this perspective?
Oh, completely.
Okay.
Oh, yes, for sure. So we're going to take a quick break before we perspective change, and then we'll come right back. Okay, so we're back, and we're going to jump into a new perspective. David Hanlon.
Yeah. A.K.A.
Moylan.
Doylan.
Doylan.
Mellar.
Mellar.
Yeah. Moylan Doylan, that's what they call him.
Moylan Dellar or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and okay. Mellar.
Yeah.
Captain of the bodyguard.
Do you want to call him Hanlon or Mellar?
For this, Hanlon.
Okay.
Because it always matters what perspective we're in.
Yeah.
And what everybody else are calling them.
Yeah.
Because if in this perspective, we're just calling him Mellar, but that's not what, like, Falion is calling him.
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't make
it's David Hanlon.
sense.
Yeah,
right?
He does have a lot of cool guy thoughts, though, where he's like, a name is just a name, and they change just as easily as a coat or whatever. So maybe David Hanlon isn't even his real name.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah, but it's what he goes by.
It's cool. It's a cool guy name.
Cool guy, yeah. If there was an explosion...
He would not even look at it.
Not even. He wouldn't even glance.
He would just walk away.
He would just keep walking away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what makes him less of a cool guy is how much he thinks about how he's a cool guy.
Yeah, that's true. The cool guy motto is don't think about how cool you are.
Right. You just
be
have
cool.
to be cool.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, you get it. You get it.
So he's heading through the streets of Camelin at night thinking about how cool he looks in his dark cloak and everyone is scared of him and thinks he looks so cool.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, I bet nobody's going to even try and mug me because I look so dangerous.
Right. And to be fair, he is a pretty dangerous person.
You know, he is.
Like, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Dangerous guy.
Totally.
Now, there aren't many people in the streets because dark is falling. Dark is gathering.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There
Nighttime.
it is.
I get it.
Yeah, and also it's cold out.
Right. Also,
it's cold. It's winter.
That's actually statistically true. Less crime during the colder
than
seasons.
Winter, yeah.
It's just, you don't... Also, thieves don't want to be out in the cold.
Well, it's harder.
Yeah.
It's colder.
Yeah.
Right?
I get it.
Mm-hmm. So he sees two women crossing the street up ahead, and he thinks they must either be Aes Sedai or some of the strange women from the palace. And then we get this whole explanation that he doesn't understand the connection or relationships between any of the different women factions in the palace right now.
Yeah.
He's like, why do those sea folk even swagger around and then pull a knife on me when I try to make a move?
Yeah, don't touch the sea folk butts. That is the rule number one. Don't do it.
Those are the worst kind of women. God.
Yeah. And he's also picked up on that they're all acting weird today because of the cleansing.
Because the cleansing.
Yeah.
That's right. Now, while he's walking, he hears the sounds of boots that have been following him for a while.
Yep.
And at the next street, he turns and waits there. And then we get a pretty graphic description of Hanlon murdering a guy who was following him once he rounds the corner.
Yeah. It's a long scene.
Like, and who's this guy?
Yeah.
Why is he following him?
That's literally that's the question.
Yeah.
That's who is it? Who sent him?
He's not in any sort of protection.
Sure. He's not wearing any
chainmail.
No,
or
he's
breastplate.
also notable gear that says, "Oh, I was hired by so and so."
Right.
As a good spy should do, so that when you get murdered, the person knows who sent you.
Yeah.
Right? That's just, nice. But do you have any theories? Because he goes through a whole list.
Yeah, I think that his list is probably the same list I would come up with.
Yeah, but I mean, his list is literally everybody who it could be.
Everybody he knows.
He's like, it could be the Aes Sedai, it could be
Brigida.
the Kin, it could be the Seafoam, it could be Brigida, it could be Falion,
yes,
could be
Lady Cheyenne,
other Dark Friend, could be anybody, it could be the Forsaken, and he's like, one of those. It's like, maybe, I guess so. Is there anyone? Does it make a difference that they started following? From the palace, or is that just where he's...
No, that's where people know he is.
Yeah, okay.
I would like it to be somebody on the good side. I would really like it to be Brigida and Avienda, schemed up a way to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Get
some dirt on him.
Yeah, either get some dirt on him. Maybe he wasn't expecting to actually hurt him. Maybe he was supposed to just be following him to gain some intel, and he wasn't very good at it.
That's a very interesting point, too, because when Hanlon kills the guy, he notices that the guy had his knife out, and he thinks, he must have been trying to kill me. Why else would he have his knife out? But he also thinks you should just have your knife out on a night like this because...
Who knows?
Who knows what's going to happen. So, was this guy legit trying to kill him, or is this just he's following him?
Yeah. I don't know.
Hanlon's better.
I don't know.
So.
I would really like it, though.
You would like it, okay.
If it was, Brigida and Avienda.
Yeah.
I could also see it being Aes Sedai.
Now you're just hedging.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It doesn't feel to me like it is the Dark Friends because...
It's not like a Lady Cheyenne.
Well, no, because she's still using him.
Yeah, if she wants him dead.
He has a purpose.
Yeah.
Right?
There's many ways for her to kill him than
for sure.
having him followed.
Oh, yeah, no. And she would like to, watch him die and him know that it was her who did it.
Yeah.
She's not a, let's stealth this.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I agree with that. That's a good point, so. Yeah.
Anyway, so this is murder number 1.
Yep.
Today.
Also, David, if you weren't sure if he's a bad guy yet, he thinks he doesn't care if this was a man, woman, or child who he murdered, because he'll kill anyone.
Yep. Then he takes a minute to rifle through the guy's belongings to see if he can tell who the guy is, but there's nothing notable, so he just takes the coin purse off.
Yep. So it looks like a mugging, robbing, yeah.
And off he goes again.
Mm-hmm.
And so Hanlon thinks about how most people will accept the story of a murder, of a theft.
Yep. Except for the person who hired the guy.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Because whoever hired him is going to know that, Hanlon killed him.
That's right.
So.
Unless this guy is just actually really bad at his job. Okay, let's pretend this guy was hired to, follow somebody else.
Yeah.
And he's just bad at his job.
Oh, that was Tim. He's not he was the first guy. He's just, he's the worst, so,
yeah.
Aww.
Oh,
no. Sorry.
Pour one out for Tim.
Sorry, anyone who's named Tim.
Tim.
That's the name I chose. I don't know. This guy's a Brett.
Mm.
Oh, jeez.
No, he's... I was going to say
sure going to get murdered first.
He's TH.
Yeah.
Thim.
Yeah.
But it's pronounced Tim.
Thim.
No, it's not Thim. It's Tim.
It reminds me of, like, way back in, like, Eye of the World. It's like, oh, if you could play someone, who would you play in the show? It's like, probably villager number 7 who gets murdered by a Trolloc.
Yeah.
Probably that guy is going to be what I can do because, no way.
Yeah. But
I am not the cool guy.
No.
Who's going to wrestle and kill David Hanlon.
But that's the thing about acting, babe.
Oh, yeah.
You could just act.
I could act my way out of it.
Like a cool guy. That's the thing. That you literally act like somebody you're not.
Yeah, spoiler.
Have you tried that?
I did not get the job.
Did you think?
I auditioned. They said no.
That's because you didn't act.
Mm.
Oh, shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Try again next time.
Yeah. Okay.
Just kidding.
All right.
Yeah.
You've inspired me.
Okay. Well, Hanlon considers who might be having him followed. He goes through the whole list that we just went through.
Yeah. Oh, but he says a great line about Brigida.
She's just a silly girl who seems to think she really was a character out of a story, maybe even the real Brigida, if there ever had been a real Brigida.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's such a good line.
It's funny.
Yeah.
And also at this point, he thinks about just heading back to the palace, getting his money, and leaving.
Yeah.
Like, leaving Camelin altogether.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a bit of a mess.
There's another word I have to look up here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
While you do that, I'll talk about how he decides against doing that, because he has to see this through, and chances are the dark side will be able to find him anyway.
Yeah, okay, so Hanlon thinks of Brigida as a silly bint.
Oh, bint.
Yeah, so I didn't know what bint meant either.
Probably the same thing as a chit.
A little bit, but it's more loosey-goosey. It's a British slang, derogatory term for a girl or woman. So a little bit ill-defined, but it's just, bint, quotations, derogatory.
Okay.
All right, there you go.
Okay. So now he finally finds the house he's looking for, and he bangs on the door, and Falion answers. So Cheyenne is currently with a visitor, so Hanlon has to wait a little bit, and then we get a whole sort of recap on the situation with him and Falion.
Who is not dead.
Not dead.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean...
Did I think she was?
Well, I mean, at some point, like a long, long, long time ago.
I'm pretty sure we've seen her since.
Yeah, but, again, she's just, not dead still.
Oh, okay. Important to know.
She's had a rough go.
Mm-hmm.
But
and
also...
so is Marilyn Germalfin.
Germalfin.
See, exactly. I remembered her. She's the one who likes cats.
Yeah.
From the original 13 Black Aja who escaped.
Like way back in
the day.
I know
her. I remember her.
Yeah.
She has a silly, silly name.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the name.
Yeah.
It's Jim Malfin. But I think it's Germalfin. And when they say to me, Marilyn is gone, I have no idea who that is.
You say Germalfin.
I know.
Perfect.
Who Germalfin is.
Yeah. No, I mean, I always like to recap on the Falion too, because, I mean, we did see her being tortured beside Jacob Carradine when he got killed.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we've seen her since then.
I know, but I just like to recap that because Jacob Carradine is like the best death of any Dark Friend so far, so,
One of them, yeah, he's up there.
Tops. Yeah, but anyways. And it's important because way back in that chapter, when we saw that, that's when we got the hint that she was shielded.
Right,
but then the shield would wear off at some point.
Right.
So she would become useful again.
That's right.
And this is a chapter when we get her channeling.
Yes.
For the first time.
That's true.
Yeah.
Pater is my favorite Dark Friend death.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Because the White Cloaks got one by accident.
They did. Maybe by accident or just like...
And like... Morgaze's entire thought about that whole situation just makes that death...
It's pretty good.
Funny.
Yeah.
And bad for her, because she really was not understanding what was going on. But well written.
There's some good ones. That
was a good Dark Friend death for me.
Okay. Anyways, back to this.
Mm-hmm.
They're here, and again, with the whole bad things happening to bad people, bad things are still happening to Falion.
Yeah, but she's a bad person.
Yeah. So do we care?
Yes, we do. We do care.
All right.
Now, it does sound like Falion and Hanlon have a bit of an understanding.
They have a deal.
Yeah. Where it's going to look like he's having his way with her so that they can sit and share information.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of back and forth with the information business. So it is interesting. So as a character with David Hanlon, he's not specifically doing this because he's not a bad guy. He's doing it because he understands that, hey, maybe I shouldn't have an Aes Sedai who absolutely has a huge grudge against me when
he's
she's back to full power.
terrified of the power,
Yeah, and like as a self-preservation tactic, that's why he's not abusing her more, because he's like, if I treat her better than I could be, then maybe she won't completely have it out for me once she's able to be back at 100%. Because we do know Dark Friends, their situation can change quite quickly.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, so Falion is going to go and tell Cheyenne that he's here, and then he does some wondering about all the things that he doesn't know, and then he goes to make himself some wine in the kitchen, and once Falion comes back, he wants to know who the visitor here is. And I have to say, in all of that, the description of this kitchen is just over the top.
It's amazing.
It's wild.
You can envision yourself in the kitchen,
Oh.
making yourself mulled wine.
And it's,
who doesn't want to do that?
Oh, yeah. But
Great.
he doesn't even think to put out a second cup. He's even annoyed that he has to make it himself because Falion is supposed to be the maid around here.
Right?
Yeah.
Terrible. You know?
But anyway, Falion doesn't know who this visitor is. The description's super generic. Nobody really knows.
Yeah.
So then Falion tells him that Cheyenne had 2 visitors yesterday.
Yeah, this is the information exchange.
And
this
then
is important.
you have to tell me why this matters, because I can tell you
Okay.
right now, this doesn't matter to me.
Because you didn't write down the last names of the houses of the people who are opposing Elaine. Okay, so 2 visitors. One of them had the markings of House Sarand, which is Elenia's house.
Okay.
Elenia's house, it has someone meeting with Lady Cheyenne. So that's really important because if Elenia is super confident about her situation in the camp of like, ooh, I'm going to be in power soon, does she have some sort of backdoor dealings with Lady Cheyenne / Dark Friend? Is something going on here more than we can see right now?
No, not on her. No, we were just in her head, and we didn't get any nefarious anything. You know, usually people are.
Then
pretty
why
quick
is someone
to...
from House Sarand meeting with Lady
Dark
Cheyenne?
Dark friends be everywhere.
That's true.
Dark friends be
However,
everywhere, Brett.
The other visitor is someone who is from Ari Milla's house.
Now, did they visit together?
It doesn't seem that way, no.
Okay, so then it doesn't matter.
Lady Cheyenne is double dealing.
Sure, she
with
is.
The visitors,
of course.
But then, like Ari Milla and Elenia both have backdoor dealings with someone who's 2-timing them.
Sure, of course.
Is overall, if
that just feels like obvious to me. Like, even without this perspective, I probably could have told you that there are dark friends doing dark friending stuff literally everywhere.
So here's the thing: if you were rooting for either Elenia or Ari Milla, you should be very disappointed because it's probably not going to go great. Because
well, no, that's not true. Just because there happens...
the double dealings.
Nah.
Backdoor, it's like
being
2-timed.
But then we also have to assume that whatever the dark friends are doing...
I didn't see any visitors from House Tricand here.
Not yet.
Huh?
Well, who? There's no Tricans.
I know. I don't know. I'm just saying.
No.
Okay.
No.
Anyways.
Yeah. No. I just think that it doesn't matter. Like, I'll care when something goes down and something happens. And if some fishy stuff is going down and happening, then I'll be like, ooh, Dark Friend watch.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it just makes sense to me that when you have a big group of people, statistically, some are bound to be Dark Friends. But what that actually means, what things are, actually going to be happening, unless Moradin or Lady Cheyenne or whoever wants Arimilla on the throne now.
Yeah.
And Hanlon thinks about that in a little bit.
He does.
But if they want that to happen, well, then it's going to go real good.
Yeah.
For Arimilla and Elenia, and maybe they don't even know why.
But I mean, that's the question of, okay, is Arimilla / Elenia possibly setting up through Lady Cheyenne to start the fires on the warehouses? Or is that just like straight Dark Friend from Lady Cheyenne plot? Or is that actually the siegers against Camelin doing backdoor dealings with...
No, I don't think so.
What's the level of
No. I think that is much too complicated, and I think that would have too much influence from the people low down.
Yeah. That's like full-on murder board.
The plans have to come from the higher up.
Yeah, okay.
They have to think, it's almost like Lady Cheyenne is like, your siege is sucking, it's not going well.
We gotta make it better.
We gotta make it better, we're helping you.
Yeah.
So this is what we're doing.
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Yeah,
Rather
I like that.
than someone in Arimilla's camp being like, we gotta do this.
Yeah.
And then Lady Shane's like, yeah, we'll help you. Like, no, that's not how this Dark Friend hierarchy situation works.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. Do you have any Any hint of a dark friend alert for Arimilla or Elenia at all?
Maybe Arimilla,
Okay.
not Elenia.
Not Elenia. Okay, well, just because we were in her head and we didn't see it? Okay.
That's yeah.
fair.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
all.
I accept it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, this is where Hanlon has some thoughts about being promised a queen,
Yeah.
but he also considers whether or not Elena's actually going to end up on the throne, because now maybe his whole role was to be the one to do the killing of Elaine when the time comes.
Yeah. His primary concern on that, too, is just like, hey, sometimes the assassin gets assassinated.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Self-preservation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, all of that, he probably should be thinking about.
He should be. He should be.
And now it's Valiant's turn for a question for him, because according to their agreement, she gets to find out step 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so they get interrupted, though, by this big, dumb manservant guy who works for Cheyenne coming in. And there's a whole scene where apparently this guy gets to, quote, use Valiant when Hanlon isn't here.
Yeah, so this is Morellin.
So this is basically Cheyenne's way of asserting her dominance over Valiant, even though she can channel again.
Yes. Yeah. Saying I'm still the one in charge, even though there's the channeling.
So you're just going to get abused
Yeah.
because I say so.
Yeah, and she can't do anything about it, so Valiant has her own self-preservation, so she's going to let it happen more or less, because she can't do anything about it.
But she does ask if Hanlon can bring something to make him fall asleep.
Yeah.
And then he says, I can bring you something that
kills
can kill him.
him.
And she's like, oh no,
Yeah.
I will be implicated on that. I just need him to sleep so that he doesn't touch me.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Yeah. I mean, and this is the whole,
But
again,
then,
bad things happening to bad, like, Valiant's a literal dark friend, black god shot, she's horrible, she's murdered people.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and again, bad things happening to her.
Yes.
Do we have any remorse or feel bad feelings about
Well, it's all
Valiant's
morally
situation?
ambiguous anyway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yes. Well, because Hanlon starts to argue with her when she's asking these favors of him to, like, get something for her. And then this is where she shows him that she can hold him with the power.
Yeah, she, like, holds him in air.
She got her powers back.
At least some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't know, like, if it's the full shield off, like an Asmodean situation, you know?
Yeah.
Partial shield, but...
But then they get that Cheyenne is ready to see Hanlon, so off they go to see her. And now, as they're heading up, Hanlon realizes he didn't see the other visitor leave. So he's like, oh, am I in for a surprise meeting here?
Yeah, nope.
But then when he gets there, the guy is dead on the floor. And Cheyenne is like, hey, Valiant, go tell that big guy downstairs there's a bundle to dispose of.
It's the body of this guy.
And so Valiant leaves, and now it's just Hanlon and Cheyenne. So Hanlon takes a look under the blanket, doesn't recognize the guy.
Yeah.
And is like, who was this? But Cheyenne doesn't answer.
Yeah, it's one of those scenes where you think, okay, Hanlon doesn't know him, but do we? Based on the description, you know how sometimes that happens?
Yes, yeah.
But
I think no.
No,
yeah.
like there's nothing really that we can pull out at this point, at least. So
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Now, instead of answering him, she says, is Elaine's child yours?
Yeah.
She has
a
lot of intel.
Right to it.
And then Hanlon tells a lovely story about how the last woman who claimed she was pregnant by him got stuffed down a well.
Mm-hmm. He left out some details.
Yes, but is surprised to hear that Cheyenne actually knows the name of the woman and the fact that he hit her in the head with a rock before to, like, spare her from drowning.
Yeah, because he's not a complete bad guy. He's just mostly.
Uh-huh,
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And Hanlon doesn't even remember the name of this person, but he's like, I guess so. But, like, how did you get the rock detail accurate?
Yeah.
Which actually is a legitimate question. Like, how does she know that he hit her in the head with a rock first to, like, kill her before he stuffed her down a well?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. And also, Cheyenne, is absolutely ruining the value of this carpet by having a dead guy on it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Terrible.
Awful. Awful.
That's the worst thing that's occurred here.
I do think that it is important to note that she certainly does seem to be moving up the ranks.
Oh, yeah, she is.
She seems like Millie Skane.
Yeah.
She seems so important here.
Yeah.
And is getting all of her orders directly from Moradin. And it sounds like she's meeting with super high-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And so...
climb the corporate ladder.
Yeah. Although, we do know that the dark friend higher-ups are different. So, like, even though she's meeting with nobles...
Yeah.
And, like, heads of... or like
your personal station in life does not matter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So... But it does sound like she's also pretty high up in dark friendery.
Yeah. No, she's definitely... And she also, like, she steals identities. That's kind of her deal.
Yeah.
Is she just steals identities and becomes that person. So...
Because she's also an assassin, right?
Yeah.
That's her deal?
She's got a pretty good kill count. We've got her history and her backstory. But good for her. Good for,
Moving up in the world.
Yeah.
Matt should have killed her when he had the chance.
Actually, that would have changed things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But if not her, then someone else.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly,
that's
in
true
this
too.
exact position,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, because that's the dark friend motto.
Yeah.
If not you, then someone else.
You are replaceable.
Completely.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, we literally don't care about you. That's the bumper sticker.
Right. We literally don't care about you.
Yes.
Also, you get to live forever. Maybe.
Unless we decide to murder you right now.
Right. Hypothetically.
Because you annoyed
hypothetically,
Lady
you get to live forever.
Uh-huh. As like a servant at dark friend meetings.
Okay.
Right? Isn't that those people who wander around who are all like...
Totally.
Soulless?
Sometimes you just get turned to ash by, whoever is upset with you at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I want that bumper sticker.
You could make that.
Dark friends, we literally don't care about you. Join us.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, Lady Cheyenne changes the subject here and asks if Hanlon can arrange for some of the Shanshan women, the Suldam and the Damani, to escape. And he's like, maybe.
Yeah. Combo or Suldam.
Suldam.
Because Suldam will release other people.
Well, and obviously there's some connection to either Suroth or other Shanshan dark friends.
Yeah.
Now, she also wants to know if he can shift guards away from the food warehouses because she's tired of the attempts at burning them down.
It's getting annoying.
They're failing, and she doesn't like that. And he's like, oh no, I can't do that.
Definitely not.
And I was like, ooh, I didn't know he could say no.
Yeah, well, she says don't. I don't like hearing that word.
Yeah.
But he also says, well, if I do it, I am immediately implicated and I have to leave Camelin.
Yes.
Right away if I do that.
Right.
So it's not going to work.
No.
So.
And then Cheyenne asks how close he is to actually, quote, enjoying Elaine's affections. And he says, closer than the day I arrived in the palace, but I have to go slow. I can't exactly back her into a corner and tickle her out of her shift.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Oof. Yeah, there's a little thing that happens too during this conversation. He specifically pours himself a drink and doesn't drink it.
Well, no, he doesn't pour himself a drink. He takes
one of the poured
drinks.
One of
the poured drinks and thinks one of them might be poison.
Yeah.
Because this guy's literally dead on the ground right now. And I picked it up out of habit, and then I keep drinking from it out of habit. But,
well, he doesn't drink. He doesn't drink out of it from habit. He doesn't drink of. So what happens?
He doesn't drink out of it on purpose, and then something happens, and he takes a sip from it.
Because he didn't see Melly Skane take her knife out, but he sees her put it back in, and he's like, "Oh dang! I didn't see her even take it out to begin with." And then in his shock, he drinks it, and then he almost chokes on it.
That's what I'm saying. Out of habit.
No.
Yeah.
But, because of the shocking incident.
Oh, so shocking.
Yeah, very shocking. I don't know, Lady Cheyenne, she's got it going on. She's good. She's sneaky. Gotta watch her hands.
She's good at her job.
Yeah.
And then we have this whole thing with Cheyenne asking if he'd like to see Camelin looted. And he's like, I don't really care, but can I know before that happens so I can get out?
Also, I could do more if you tell me a plan versus just, these vagaries. Nothing actually is being said here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, hypothetical questions that are going on.
Yeah, and she just says, why is there fresh blood on your gauntlet or whatever?
Yeah.
And he's like, a footpad got unlucky.
But maybe she knows because she's the one who sent the mystery man.
Yeah. And then he adds her name to his mental list of people he needs to kill. And I have two thoughts about this.
He also adds Marilyn Jamalfern. Germalfon.
Germalfin.
Yeah. Cat lady.
Okay. There's two thoughts. Basically two schools of thought.
Okay.
Number one, why is this the first time he thinks he needs to kill her?
Sure.
Because
Sure.
he's
Fair.
David Hanlon.
Everyone's on that list,
And
I
everyone's
thought.
on that list. And anytime anyone even looks at him sideways, they get on that list. And so
Yeah.
like, really, this is the first time you thought of that?
Cool guy thoughts.
And number
101.
2,
Mm-hmm.
the other perspective in this chapter ended with someone thinking that people needed to be killed.
Yeah,
So
on the
that-
list.
yeah.
Making the list.
That's-
You should start a list.
You know, I have one. Just kidding. I have one for in this.
Yeah, not in real life.
No,
Just... okay.
No, in here.
Just in case.
Yeah. Although the last time I, like, seriously put someone on that list, it happened, and then I felt bad.
Oh, no.
It was Tylen.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
I was
no.
like, yeah, that Tylen needs to die. And then I
Oh,
was like,
yeah.
Tylen's dead. And I was like, oh, shit.
Like, horribly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So, but that's the thing. A lot of vague concepts of what might happen, hypothetically,
Yeah.
with the Dark Friends enemy camp.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I liked seeing from different people, different perspectives. I'm not mad at this chapter. I thought
Okay.
it was it held my attention, pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to moving on. Let's
Okay.
see what happens next.
Okay. Fair. Now, for the record, the next 2 episodes will both consist of 2 chapters.
2 chapters each.
Yep.
Okay. Very cool. I like reading 2 chapters.
Yeah. They're long.
Both of them?
They're both long.
Oh, okay.
Yep. But it
Are you
must
just
be done.
prepping yourself, like mentally preparing?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
These are the 2 longest episodes by page count.
the next 2 in a row?
The next 2, yeah.
Okay.
It's long.
Well, maybe some stuff will happen.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's good. It's good.
Okay, so now before you go ahead and add people to your kill list, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani and Brett, produced by Dani and Brett, with Passion Socks, Cody Fouts, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jonathan Reese, Jamie Young, Megan Smiley, Jared Berg, Ricky Morissette, Lance Barden, Charlie Haz, Adam, Hannah Green, Marta Thier, and Michelle Forbes, with music by Audionautics. Now be sure to check out our Patreon page if you are interested in supporting us and the podcast. We would love to send you some Patreon exclusive merchandise as a thank you, plus you'll gain access to our episodes earlier than everyone else. And at the time of recording, we have over 40 bonus episodes for your listening pleasure. You can find all that and more at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and information like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, and how to get in touch with us, visit thewheelweavespodcast.com. And as always, please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference in helping other people find us. And make sure you tell a friend, Riyadh, because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening. This really is part of the pattern now.